One picket, one planter, no fluff intro. Grab one of those pickets you organize so neatly and rip one strip at 1.5 inches. Move the table saw fence to 1 inch and rip one more strip. We'll be using that 1 inch strip to make the legs. Cut 8 pieces at 7.5 inches. Using our thickest sliver, we cut 6 pieces at 6.25 inches. And 4 pieces at 7.5 inches. With the 1.5 inch strip, cut a 45-degree miter, flip your board, and cut 4 pieces to 9 inches. He was supposed to be here 45 minutes ago, so where's he at? He said he was going to be a little late. He was having car trouble. I didn't think he was allowed to drive because he had stolen that. Hey! If you guys would like to guess how many nails this project is going to take, go ahead and comment your guess below. I'm going to say it's less, spoilers, it's less than 80, like the 3 picket, 71. 71 nails is my guess. We're going to shoot this all in one go so I don't have to do as much later on. So here we go. Get your picket all laid out to look like a picket again. This part is not required, just for showmanship. And then we're going to get rid of the scraps. So our longer pieces, our bye-bye, and this guy. And that's it. That's our scraps, which actually seems like quite a lot for a 1 picket planter. But we're going to get rid of the scraps. And now we're just going to organize everything. So put your 4 7.5s together, the 6 6.25 together. That's our short side. I'm going to use that term loosely. These guys are all legs. Still requires 8 pieces, just like all the other planter boxes. And then, of course, you've got your mitered 9-inch tops for that top lip. So to begin, we are going to take our 7.5-inch pieces, put them together just like we would in the other planter box. I'm going to use a Titebond 3 Ultimate. That's the glue I always use for everything. Doesn't really matter. I feel like this is an indoor project for people, so use whatever glue you have at hand. Don't forget you're not slathering it on like the 3 pickets. That's what I just did here. We haven't even really started the video. I've already made a mistake. Then we are taking our legs and just putting them on this edge so they line up. I am using a 18 gauge 1-inch brad nail. The nails I always use. And let's shoot 3 into each one. You know what? 2 into each one. It's very much so, not really holding a lot of weight. Repeat for this other side here. And tip them up just like that. Apply a little glue only on the butted edge. We are not putting it on the face as we normally do. I know every time we put the boards like this together, and that is not what we're doing this time. So put a little glue just on the butted edge of the board, not this edge. Side, there's different words for these things. Put them like that, and 2 nails. So that you come up with something that resembles this. Repeat for this other side. A little bit of glue. And there is one side complete. Repeat it for this side. Alrighty, 2 assembled sides, and just like every other picket planter we've ever done, we're going to tip both of these up like so. Really? And put a little bit of glue on the inside of here. Two of our shorter boards, the only boards that are left now. Pop them in the centers. And 2 nails into each one of these. This is where things get real tricky. So we're going to flip them over, put in a little more glue. Put our next 2 boards in there. And what I generally do is I take my nail gun and I kind of push it in as far as I can, which is about 3/4 of the way down, and just shoot 2 nails into it. The glue will hold everything together once it's dried. They're at a bit of an angle just because I don't want them to shoot through later on. Squeeze everything together nice and tight. Repeat for that bottom. If you guys can't get your nail gun to fit inside of here, you can put it upright, put them to here, and fire your nails into the outside. I just try to minimize how many nails are actually on the outside of the boxes. I'm going to wipe off a little bit of this glue. Unfortunately, I ran out of paper towels days ago, so I've just been using my microfiber cloths. I know, it's more expensive. You can put in a little strip of that ledger. It does make it nearly impossible to shoot your nails down into it. This is why for this build, again, line up which ones are your shorter edges. These boards should fit in here nice and snug, and then fire the nails just like in the 3-picket video. Fire the nails in from that direction instead of putting these in the bottoms, and then I got to try to shoot a nail into here. You just don't have to do that. So 2 nails on each side. You can put one in this side. This piece, there's just a little gap in the center. If you wanted to fill it up with dirt, you'd have to fill in that gap. Nails into the sides. Now for the top, a little bit of glue. This I do recommend gluing because this one I did not glue. You'll see me pick it up and these just pull right off of it because there's no glue. Glue the tops. Now, something that you can do, I did it in the shortcut video. I'm not a big fan of it, but if it helps you guys out, I'll do a demonstration on these little tiny boxes. Go ahead, align your pieces, and just shoot a nail into the corner. And what this does, give you a higher risk of blasting one into your hand, but it will actually fully assemble this square lip at the top. And what that will help you do is actually align it on top of here, so you don't have to play that guessing game and move everything around. I just make sure that this space underneath is kind of even. Pop them down like that. Few nails. I generally put them in these corners because I know that there are legs and extra bracings in the side, so there's a better chance of me actually hitting wood instead of blasting it through the inside or outside of my box. I also put them at slight angles, so they're harder to pull up. If every one of them was straight down, more liable to pull out. If they're angled, less likely to do that. And there you have it, a completed 1-picket planter box. What I like to do with these is actually just go to the store and pick up one of these. It's like a 6 1/4 diameter little plastic container tub. I don't know the terminology for plants. And it fits like a glove in there. You know, you could fill this up with dirt. It'll hold the water. It actually fits perfectly inside of this one and hits the bottom because I put in that little ledger piece. So I'd kind of, you know, see if you have them in different sizes. Buy one that fits in here nice. Hold me closer, tiny planter. As far as marketability, here's the issue I'm going to see. If I posted this on Facebook Marketplace, people are going to be thinking they're getting that size of a box, and they're going to show up and it's going to be this box. And after driving 30 miles, they might be a little pissed off. Now, would it be comical because they don't understand what 9 inches are, or because they don't read any of what I have written out and they just show up thinking they're getting something that they're not? Who knows? But this guy is a lot smaller than its bigger 3-picket planter brother. So I don't know. I would say like $10. This would be something maybe to take like to a craft show, or if you have a table set up somewhere so someone could pick it up, see it, and hold it. And honestly, it takes just about the same amount of time for assembly on a 3-picket planter as it does the 1-picket, because they do almost identically match up to how we just assembled it, and they take about the same amount of time. So I don't know. I'd say like $10 if you wanted to sell some smaller projects. It'd at least get people to your booth. If you have some smaller stuff, some cheaper stuff, and then you had the bigger projects that they could buy as well, might rope them in to come and looking at some things. It took a little bit of trial and error to go from the 3-picket planter bigger brother down to the 1-picket planter that we're going to build here today. And to start out, I wanted to try to keep the legs so that they butted together the same way that these legs had butted together, while also keeping the leg width and the top lip the same size. And that's how I got to this little guy. But the issue I had with him is that now the side slivers are pretty thin, and I don't like how thick this piece is. I could have ripped these down an extra step. I just didn't like how much effort it took to build this guy. So that's how I transformed it into him, only having the inch-thick legs and kind of giving him that spacer while keeping everything squared and boxy. And if you actually did away with this top lip of the box we're building today, you would end up with one of these, because your sides would be a little bit thicker wide, and they actually fit together quite nicely on the bottoms. So if you ditch that 1.5-inch lip, you would end up with this box. But I liked how the top lip looked. I liked mimicking what this box kind of looked like, and I wanted to keep that aesthetic, and that's how we got to the 1-picket planter. Just a little background on the 1-picket planter.